So I'll start with you, Katie. In Series 1, we started to see Morgana's abilities develop quite a bit. How does that carry on in Series 2?
My storylines in Series 2 are all pretty much about sort of the growth of Morgana's powers and her abilities to deal with them, and how her realizations about what it is that she is impact on all her relationships with those who surround her. So my main storylines all have to do with my burgeoning knowledge of me being magical and her fear of that and her ultimate acceptance, I guess, of who it is that she is and what that means for her future.
We know she's ultimately going to become quite evil and nasty. Does that start to come out?
This isn't a strict storytelling of the Merlin Arthur legend, and I think that's what's so nice about it, is that all the things that you expect to see, you're going to see, but not in the way that you expect them. So while you might see her becoming slightly darker, I don't know if the idea of Morgana sitting in a cave cackling is ever really going to happen with a pointy hat and a cauldron, because it's too far from where it was she starts. And this is a different take on it. It's a new take. And so the way that you're going to see Morgana be is going to be sort of original and confined to this, but still taking in the bits of the legend that everybody loves. So will Morgana become darker? Yeah, she will, but not in the way that you expect.
Do you think there'll be a moment where she changes then, or will it be a gradual...
Dun, 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 that kind of thing? I want that, like...
Dark makeup, suddenly she's different.
Yes. No, because it's more of a gradual thing, because it's as she realises who she is, and as that goes along in the series, the audience come along with her, and it's not an all of a sudden clicking moment. There are moments that jump her forward in it and take her closer to it, but it's a slow realisation with moments punctuating that, you know, obviously move it forward for her in a quicker way. But there isn't one single moment that all of a sudden she's like, right, that's it, on with the pointy hat. Do you know what I mean? It's a slow realisation.
Okay, and what's Gwen's journey this year?
After Series 1, Gwen, I always described her as a sort of humble maidservant, which is obviously what she was. Towards the end of Series 1, her father was executed by her king. So having trusted the king and thought that he was kind of the ultimate power to be, you know, definitely to be trusted, she realised that perhaps not everybody is good. You can't always see the good in everybody, and she's kind of hardened a little bit and grown up a little bit and become less naive, I think. And I think that relates to the sort of the Arthur Guinevere story. She's begun to sort of look towards Arthur as obviously the future king, and she's seen that he, you know, even though he's kind of got this arrogant kind of exterior, she's seen that actually he does have quite a good heart. And although their relationship hasn't really developed at all in Series 1, they begin to sort of note each other a little bit more. I think he sees that she's quite brave and noble, and they're quite impressed by that. And I think she kind of sees herself as someone who can perhaps help to nurture his good side, and, you know, eventually see him as like the perfect leader, basically, the sort of the ultimate king that Camelot so desperately needs.
So how would Merlin fit into that? Because she quite likes him.
Merlin, well, she did like Merlin at first. She had a bit of a crush on him, but that never really went anywhere. And I think they kind of ultimately just became friends, and, you know, that sort of died down. And she was like, Arthur. So, you know, she chops and changes, obviously, as the legend says. But yeah, so her and Merlin just mates now, really.
Okay, and does Morgana like Arthur? We've seen hints of that as well.
Yeah,
I think that's another storyline that they started out at the beginning of the series, trying out, and ultimately decided that it was more interesting because basically the Arthur story with regards to love is Guinevere, and everybody knows that. It's not Morgana, it's not anyone else. The true love of his life is Gwen, and it's more interesting to play that, and it's more interesting to have Arthur and Morgana as this sort of sibling snipping rivalry. So definitely season 2, and you saw at the end of season 1 too, they are more like brother and sister, and that more, I mean, Morgana knows how to push his buttons. She's manipulative. She knows how to get what she wants, like, you know, like your little sister would. And so that's kind of the way their relationship's gone. I mean, she honestly does love and care about him, but more as a sibling.
Okay, and with Morgana turning evil, how would that...
I don't know where you've got this. Is this on a memo somewhere? Is this on your page?
How would that affect her relationship with Gwen, do you think?
I mean, it doesn't come in too much in season 4, I think. Yeah. You can... It's obviously going to put them at odds, because in this series, Gwen is is the perfect queen. She's noble, she's kind, she's sweet, she's beautiful, she's all these things. And but that is what Morgana is going to put her in direct conflict with the two of them. So while they are actually in season 2 much closer as friends than they were in season 1, you can kind of see ultimately that that's going to become a problem. Who Morgana is and who Gwen is going to come into conflict.
Yeah, I think that we just had to read through for like the final couple of episodes, or not the final couple of episodes, 2 more of the episodes of season 2, and you start to see a hint of them going in different directions just a little bit, so watch out for that.
Okay, and what sort of queen would Gwen make, do you think?
Well, she's always been quite sort of, in a way, I guess, politically minded, if we can talk about Merlin and politics, but she's always talked about the sort of the ordinary people of Camelot and how they need to be represented and they need to have a voice, and it's not just about the aristocracy and the king, it's about just the normal people, and what that kind of means to her. And I think she'd be a really very kind queen. I think she'd be very fair and open-minded, and hopefully would bring Arthur into that kind of ideal as well. So yeah, no, I think she'd be good. But I want her to be like a warrior queen with a sword. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah.
She wouldn't tolerate evil, I don't think. Evil.
No, I don't think she'd
Morgana.
tolerate Morgana, no, sadly.
Hey.
Put her in the dungeons.
Never going to happen, love.
In a good way.
Never going to happen. Sorry, in a fight between Gwen and Morgana, who do you think is going to win?
I think I might win.
No.
I'm a blacksmith's daughter.
And I'm trained as a fighter.
Come on.
Sorry, we digressed there.
It's all right. And Uther and Morgana, how did they interact this series? Because they were butting heads quite a bit in the first series.
I think there's still residual feelings from sort of episode 12 last year between Morgana and Uther. Their bond has been broken in a way, because before that they were very much father and daughter, Morgana and him. They loved each other, but she definitely spoke her mind to him and all these things. But after episode 12, the very much the closeness that they had is broken. And as season 2 goes on and Morgana discovers more and more about herself, it pulls her away from Uther. And there is an episode that breaks that bond forever. So, yeah, all very different.
Mm.
And how has it been for you guys filming the second series?
I've loved it. It's been great fun. It's all, I mean, the first series was the same. It's such a nice job to do. It's like, especially now we know it's been such a success as well, and just for everyone to have that knowledge working together, it kind of, I don't know, it's brought us all together, and it's created a really nice kind of vibe. And it's just really good fun. We get to do horse riding, and we're actors, so we get to dress up, and we like dressing up. And it's just lovely. It's really good. Because we have last year to build on, and we spent all that time together last year, when we came back this year, you didn't have to sort of get to know each other again. You knew each other, and you had all that foundation built, so we've built on that. And now all the stuff that we've done, it's easy. I know it's easier for me, definitely.
to do all these scenes where we're all friends and we're all getting on and stuff like that. And also this year, it's much more physical what we get to do.
Yeah,
there's more sword fighting, more stunts, more horse riding. I get to do CGI for once.
Yeah,
so do you get to do some.
CGI.
So it's much bigger and much more involved, and like we were saying before, it's much more character driven, so there's more stuff for us all to do, which is great.
Is it sad for you now that it's coming to an end then? Or is it a relief?
I'm really tired.
Is it a relief?
It's not a relief, I'm just tired.
I hope we come back and do another one, and I suppose with the success of the first one and hopefully the success of the second one, we will be back again. So in the back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking, we'll be back, so it's not like it's the end. But I'd be really upset if it was. I'd be really gutted.
And the thing is, the writers and producers are really clever in the fact that they move every year. They've moved all of our stories on.
Yeah.
Because where you ended at season 1 is completely different from where you ended season 2. And it's the same for me. And so the thought of coming back for another year is great, because by the end of it you'll be somewhere completely different. Mm-hmm. So it's fun and it's challenging. Plus we get to play for a living. Yay! And I get a sword. It's brilliant.
And the way they've ended series 2 then, without saying what that is.
I have no idea.
If you didn't come back, would that be a good closure, do you think?
No.
If you didn't come back?
If I didn't come back, no.
That'd be awful.
It would be terrible. They've ended it very cleverly. So I'd be upset because for Morgana, all her best stuff is coming up.
Yeah.
So if I didn't get to come back and do another season, I would be slightly upset. I would be gutted.
They've written us out. Oh God. They can't anyway.
Well, they can't write you out of the legend. No.
They can't write you out either. Oh.
No,
They can't.
No, they can't.
They can't. They can't.
Oh my God, it's because the Queen has just issued a directive here now. Yeah, no, I don't like her. They're just gone off with their head. You're not Queen yet.